Possibly, Mheshimiwa, on one light note, because I like Richard Moravi. Richard Moravi has just asked, Peter Kenneth, when you come into power, will you scrap the Mutungi law?
I think the important thing is that we must be able to observe laws if they are already enacted.
All right.
So you can't just come in and give a decree and reject that.
But how do you feel about no drinking before the election day, 48 hours? Is this in order with you?
I think at some time before elections, because of the nature of elections, how we've had them before, it is important probably to practice. But I think it's running away because we've not been effective in controlling drinking hours.
But
if you say, for example, 5 to 11 at night, as the law says, people will not get carried away. But people sit inside bars and shut the doors and they drink till morning.
There are a lot of places which actually do that. But do you think that Kenyans have really been affected by how much they drink prior to the election, or is it after they cast their vote?
Because there is easy money in the last 1 week.
Yes.
People tend to overdo it.
Okay.
That's where the problem is.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So on to more serious issues now. Gladys Kimani asks, what's your plan for civic education, the intellectual voter versus the tribal vote? Not really tribal, let's just say mashinani on the ground.
No,
what is your plan
I
for
think
civic
it's
education?
good to admit that we have a tribal element.
Yes.
And what I want to say is that tribalism has never built a nation.
Okay.
We need to unite to be interrogated on issues that will help the country move forward. So for me, we need to use all forms of education, including media, including IEBC, to say, look at issues.
Yes. And
not just at presidential level. I think governorship is very important in the next couple of years.
Sure.
And people have to look at it and decide what they need to do. And therefore, I think everybody needs to actually get involved, those who have the know-how, to let those who do not have the know-how get to know it. Maitoyo
on Twitter would like to say that you're her choice for president first and foremost, and she would like to know, what are your plans for the pastoralist communities? You know, having been there yourself.
You know, first of all, I said that first you invest in security.
Yes.
2, you must open up the country by way of infrastructure.
Yes.
We must have equality of roads. Opening the country. Remember Wild West? Was America opening up the West from the East?
And the mad dash
so that
for land.
People can dash.
Yes.
But 3, and most important, we are a water scarce country. We must build dams. We must invest.
Okay.
We must invest in dams so that first, pastoralists can save their animals in terms of drought.
Yes.
But 2, we can boost our food security using irrigation. Now, if you boost the livestock for a pastoralist,
yes, and
then you have efficient slaughterhouses, you can actually make livestock a livelihood.
Which actually it should be, because there are people who have chosen to do this. Stanley has an interesting question over here as well. He says, how will you tackle land issues, especially land captured by big MPs and well-known elite?
You know, the National Land Policy of 2007, you need a president who will have the guts to implement it. Do
you have the guts?
I have them. Because I am not a landowner of that magnitude. But you need a chief, a president, who will ensure the national land policy is tackled. If you tackle it, the issues in coast will be over. The issues in Nyanza will be over. Everybody will have their title deed. But more important, you'll have land banking for future services and future generations.
All right. Now, to my first hard question. I'm hoping it will be my first and last.
Before you ask your hard question.
All right.
Allow me to see, I've seen a few tweets here.
Okay, please respond.
Yes.
Okay.
There are a few people who are talking about MPs not being taxpayers. I was the MP who paid taxes from day one.
Yes.
And I accepted even before we enacted the law.
With Johnson Modama, I think.
Yes.
Yes.
And 2, somebody asked me what I would do about IDPs. I think we can actually settle IDPs if we have the guts.
Okay, if we can dwell on that just a bit.
Because they owned property before.
Why don't they want to go back?
It's not that they don't want to go back.
Okay.
Their properties are probably occupied and they would like to go back. You just need that transition to ensure somebody goes back to where they belonged if they owned that property.
Okay, so now that they have the property, we know that they owned land and we know that they want to go back. Why aren't they back?
You have to ensure as government that they can be able to go back. The problem is, instead of ensuring, because we don't want to destabilize the status quo that is prevailing now,
yes,
we prefer to spend more taxpayers' money to buy them property elsewhere so that they can go there. That is where the problem is.
So you believe they should be resettled where they were?
Because they belonged somewhere.
Yes.
So on that one, that is okay.
And also, just possibly on that note, how is this placement of IDPs going to affect the voting structure? Because a lot of the people who voted last time did not vote where they are right now. So obviously we're expecting...
But they are registered where they are now. So they'll vote in areas where they are now. So they won't go anywhere.
But you don't foresee that there will be some areas which will get slightly fewer votes because they were displaced, because they came from that particular place.
That has already happened by using the current registration. That certain areas have depleted voters than
voter
before,
registration.
Yeah. And then a question that keeps coming, and allow me to just talk about these two.
Okay.
One, there are many people saying, why didn't you run for Nairobi governor? Many people.
Were you interested in the governorship?
Never ever. I chose the country more than the counties.
All right.
I chose the country because we need to fix the country much more than you need to fix a county.
But you understand, Nairobi governor is going to be a very powerful position.
But you have the rest of the country as well.
True.
You need, this country can only be harmonized, detribalized if you have a leader who holds the whole country together rather than a county. It does not make sense to have one county moving forward or one constituency moving forward and the neighboring does not move forward.
So you're absolutely not considering the governorship.
I told you I'm this to the wire. The other question people say is that yes, Peter is a right candidate.
Yes.
But it might be a wasted vote. I want to tell people today.
Okay, when you say wasted vote.
This is, I'm just reading here that if you give Peter your vote, it might not take him anywhere. I am convinced if you waste the vote on me, the wasted vote will be the majority and I'll take the risk.
Amen.
That I believe in. And that's how I see it.
All right. Talking about votes, can I just throw in my question now?
Yes, please.
And there are people who are saying that you're a Raila project and that you're in this to split the votes. What do you have to say about that?
I've been in this. I'm opposed to Raila. I'm opposed to the other candidates. I've said let us concentrate on issues. I do not believe he can do what I want to do.
Okay.
Just like I do not believe the other candidates will not be able.
Okay, where's this?
I have said this because this is said by people who want to spin. Because there is nowhere where they've ever seen me with him. The point is, and I've said this before, evaluate all of us. We are trying to get the best leader for the country.
True.
It doesn't matter who that is, as long as he's the best leader, he's passionate, he has the love, he has the ability, and he will work for you. That's all we are looking for. And I've said, evaluate the Honorable Prime Minister from his constituency.
Yes.
Evaluate me from my constituency.
That is fair.
And tell who can work. And also evaluate the others. It is important that we evaluate because this time round we must elect right. And this is why I'm looking forward. And I hope you'll take part in this, Cess.
I am so part of it.
I'm saying I hope you'll take part in the presidential debates.
I hope so too.
Because I know that there are certain aspirants or candidates who do not want to have these debates. Because Kenyans must be empowered to know what stuff we are made up of.
No, but I agree with you on that, in the sense that it is important for you and everyone else to be put on the spot. Let's have the other candidates there. Let's have you, and let's take on the issues that the country is facing. I would like to hear what you have to say, what Honorable Raila has to say, what Honorable Uhuru has to say,
yes,
and all the other party
because
leaders.
That's how the Kenyans will decide who has what it takes,
and to make an informed decision.
Yes, people have talked about healthcare.
Yes,
Cess, I grew in Eastlands. I grew up in Eastlands.
I've been there a couple of times.
I went through some of the finest healthcare facilities in a city council dispensary.
You did?
In a city council health center.
Really?
In Eastlands. We never had to go to Kenyatta National Hospital. And it worked. The facilities were there but got outstretched by the population.
So they actually work?
They worked. Wow. I actually said in my manifesto, I will put up another 45 referral hospitals like Kenyatta National Hospital and Eldoret in the further 45 remaining counties,
yes,
so that they can be the head control of sub-district hospitals, health centers and dispensaries in their regions.
Okay.
I say that not all our kids make it to campus. So I want to put national polytechnics so that we can redefine them into skills that can go into the manufacturing sector.
Okay.
I am very clear about this.
Okay.
Now, for us to achieve all this, we need money. And somebody reminded me of Jerry Maguire, show me the money.
Show me
and
the money.
I said, 10 years ago, the total revenues of government was 180 billion. Total expenditure was 160 billion. Today, our total revenues is almost 800 billion. Our recurrent expenses are over 800 billion. We are living beyond our means. If we were to tighten up, and I've done this study, we tighten up on the recurrent expenses, we will save 150 billion, which will go towards these basic facilities that I'm saying we must provide for. So we will not borrow. I know where the money is. I worked in treasury. I know where to save. I will save from traveling. I will save from maintenance. I will have the money. Now, to build the economy, I have 3 critical issues.
Okay.
One is agriculture. We want to make it self-employing, but also boost food security. I want to see a situation where we can guarantee farmers they'll make money from their produce. 2, the tourism sector.
That's been struggling.
You know, we attract 1.5 million tourists for the most beautiful country in the world.
True.
And I've often said that on a hot summer day, on a stretch of 3 kilometers of Oxford Street, which is just pure shopping, they attract 1 million tourists a day. It's not possible. We need to improve on our tourism so that we can have spiral effect into the economy and build on to jobs and build on to production.
True.
That is a must.
Okay.
The third one is manufacturing. We have wonderful trade agreements with COMESA and EAC. And those are things we can take advantage and build our economy. But we are not going to build our tourism if what we are doing, and it's sad to see elephants being slaughtered the way they were slaughtered yesterday.
Was shocking.
And
it was shocking.
It tells me just a few days after Julius Kimgetich leaves KWS,
Yes.
this takes place. It's not on, and the director must take full responsibility.
So possibly now that we've run out of time,
Yes.
your closing statement, what can we expect to see from the Honourable Peter Kenneth, or PK,
Yes.
in the way that Tunaes make coming up to the election date?
Well, I will do an issue-based campaign,
All right.
and I'll be everywhere in our country. And I want to tell Kenyans, do not be boxed into limitation of the choices you have. It's our country, all of us. We need to evaluate all the presidential candidates. I believe I have the best credentials as your presidential candidate, and I will work for you. I will work for you as Kenyans. And in 4 years' time, we'll ask yourselves, where did you live in? Because, and I'll give you a small example. Look at the Museum Hill roundabout that was removed.
The former.
The former.
Yes.
Why can't we remove the other 6? A very simple example. Westlands, St. Paul's, Nyayo House, Railways, Bunyala, and Nyayo. And you'll never have a jam on that highway. Can you imagine we have a highway which is just a car park?
That would be. Those are 8 roundabouts.
Yes, there are 6. One was removed. And I'm saying I want to work for Kenyans. Let's believe in ourselves. Let's know we Tunaes make. And let's not get discouraged by our rivals. There will be a lot of propaganda. There will be those who will be saying they have 70% of the vote.
Yes.
There are those who will be saying it's a wasted vote. As I said before, vote all the wasted vote for PK. That will be the majority.
All right.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Mheshimiwa, for coming in. We hope you get a chance to come back, and maybe as president. You never know.
I will come to your studio as president. Never mind. I won't ask you to come to State House.
Oh, come on, you must.
I will come here and tell Cess, can we do it here first as
we
president?
can't do it
and
here.
then we do it the second one there.
I think I'll be looking forward to the second one. We wish you all the best, Mheshimiwa.
Yes.
And Tunaes make, hopefully. Yes.
Thank you to Tunaes make.
Okay.
Thank you.
We'd like to thank everybody who's been listening. Thank you, everybody on Twitter. We're going to be, of course, giving you a chance to view this again. It's going to be on our website. We've been streaming it live, www.capitalfm.co.ke/TV. The Honourable Peter Kenneth in the 98.4 Capital FM studios, talking about his presidential ambitions and what he intends to do for Kenya as a country as we move into this prolific year 2013.